Presenting before you, the 2015 romantic fantasy film, The Age of Adeline. The first scene opens up to a woman in transit. She purchases some fake IDs at an apartment. After which, she returns to her home. She lives with her dog in an apartment in San Francisco. After spending some time there, she leaves for work. At work, she plays a film reel which highlights historical events and times. As the film reel begins, a narrator narrates the story of the woman. Adeline Bowman, currently disguised as Jennifer, was born in the year 1908. She was the only child of her parents. Later, she marries James, an engineer. 3 years later, they gave birth to a baby girl, Fleming. Unfortunately, she lost her husband in an accident during the construction of Golden Gate Bridge in 1937. 10 months later, something highly unusual happens. One night, she was driving to her parents' beach cottage to meet her daughter Fleming. But a snowstorm causes Adeline to accidentally swerve into a ravine, and her car crashes into a freezing lake. In the lake, her body goes into an anoxic reflex. This slows her heartbeat and eventually stops it. But a bolt of lightning brings her back to life. And from that moment onwards, Adeline stops aging. She carries out an intense research on her condition for a year. But with no scientific explanation, she accepts her condition. On one rainy night, as she walks home, 2 men approach her. They introduce themselves as FBI agents. But she gets to know their true intentions of turning her into a lab rat, and she escapes to save herself. After that incident, she realizes that she will have to spend the rest of her life on the run. Since then, she kept changing her name, residence and appearance every decade. This is to ensure her freedom and the safety of her daughter. Turning off the film reel, Adeline comes back to the present day. Later that night, Adeline attends a New Year's Eve party. She meets an enchanting young man, Ellis Jones, and introduces herself as her current alias, Jennifer. Despite enjoying the short time with him, Adeline refuses to meet him again. The next morning, she meets up with her daughter, Fleming, at a restaurant, who appears older than Adeline. As they spend her birthday over a meal, she discusses her plan to move. The next scene shows Adeline back at work at the library. She is shocked to see Ellis as he walks in. After much persuasion, she accepts an outing with him. On their outing later that day, Adeline tells him she is moving. Ellis asks her for another date at his house. At dinner with Ellis at his house, he tells her about himself and family. They get attracted to each other as they enjoy their conversations together. Next day on her way to work, Adeline goes down the memory lane, as she passes a park. Long time ago, she had once pulled up in a cab to the park. A man was waiting for her, fidgeting with an engagement ring in his hands. But Adeline changes her mind and asks the cab driver to keep moving. Back to the present day, she finds her dog sick on reaching home. She takes him to the vet, but nothing could save him. As she grieves for her dog, she ignores Ellis' persistent calls. Determined to stay in touch, Ellis shows up at her apartment one night. But Adeline pushes him away. She tells him that she is moving away, and things can't work between them. One day, on a visit, she tells Fleming about Ellis. Fleming convinces and encourages her to give him a chance. Adeline had a change of heart afterwards and pays Ellis a visit. She apologizes to him and takes him out. On their outing, Ellis invites her to his parents' 40th wedding anniversary celebration. Upon their arrival, Ellis introduces her to his father, William. William recognizes her instantly as Adeline. She recognizes him too, but introduces herself as Jenny. To convince him, she says that Adeline was her mother. They all retire for the night, leaving a confused William behind. As he drinks, he has a flashback on how they met and fell in love. The flashback reveals that it was him who was waiting for her in the park with the ring. Back to present day, Ellis apologizes to Adeline about his dad's behavior around her. He also confesses his feelings for her. But Adeline had nothing to say. The next morning, William notices a scar on Adeline's hand. Another flashback reveals how she had injured her hand on a hike with William. From the scar, William confirms she is Adeline and confronts her for the truth. She finally opens up to him about her condition. But despite his plea for her to stay for Ellis' sake, she refuses. She leaves a note for Ellis, packs her things, and then she leaves. On seeing her note, Ellis confronts his father about it, but he refuses to explain. On her way home, Adeline thinks of all the time she has run away. She stops her car as she has a change of heart. She calls her daughter to inform her of her decision to stop running. As she tries to reverse her car, a tow truck hits her. Her car crashes to the ground. Freezing and helpless, she dies again. Ellis rushes to the scene and tries to revive her, but to no avail. Fortunately, paramedics arrive and she is revived by a defibrillator. Later in the hospital, she wakes up to a worried Ellis. As he professes his love, Adeline tells him about her life and true identity. And also introduces him to her daughter. 1 year later, as they prepare for a New Year's Eve party, something strange happens. The movie comes to an end as Adeline catches her first gray hair in the hallway mirror, indicating she has begun to age naturally. If you enjoyed this recap, kindly like and subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon. Do let us know what you think about the movie in the comments section below. Enjoy other movie explanations on our channel. Thanks for watching.